Hey, we're back with Hump Day Highlight, and this week we have a really great local story. Ken Takekawa with TDK. Ken grew up in our area and rose to leading TDK in Peachtree City. Ken, welcome. Tell us a little about what you guys do at TDK, and tell us specifically what you do at TDK.
Sure, absolutely. Thank you, Colin, for having me on today. And hello to everybody. TDK, we manufacture multi-layer ceramic chip capacitors. It's a very small surface mount device that is mounted to circuit boards, and it's a hidden device, but commonly used in everyday applications. Your iPhone, for example, may contain 200 or so of these components. Your instrument cluster in your vehicle, your engine controller unit, and so on. So here at TDK, we do the back-end packaging and also the high-speed inspection and testing of these capacitors. We're producing somewhere around, in our peak, about 1 billion capacitors for the automotive and electronics industry.
Yeah. So when I think TDK, being a Gen Xer, I think of the best cassette tapes in the world. You went and got TDK, the things you wanted to keep, you put on TDK tape. But y'all gone much beyond that now. TDK is a Japanese company. Your place here in Peachtree City employs how many people?
We currently employ 165 employees.
TDK internationally is how big a company?
Internationally, we have right at 30,000 employees globally, with recent acquisitions on the West Coast and here in the Midwest in the U.S.
Right. And you grew up in Coweta County, is that correct?
Actually, I grew up in Fayette. So I grew up in
Fayette.
Graduated from FCHS in '88.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so, first of all, quick story, what's your educational background after you graduated from Fayette County High School?
Sure. In graphic design, and graduated as a graphic designer. My mom said to get a real job. So she turned me on to TDK, filled out an application, and started on the operations level back in '91. And in '91, I moved through the ranks and really cut my teeth as the quality assurance manager. This is where I learned a lot of the management principles needed to operate a business, as well as the quality principles, and most importantly, a lot of the Japanese fundamentals such as 5S, Kaizen, Gemba, and these kinds of things that make Japanese manufacturing superior. So I did that for about 15 years, and most recently became vice president and eventually this past year president of the organization.
Yeah, well, what a great local success story, and you served on our board. And we hate you don't serve anymore, but we appreciate the time you gave to the Fayette Chamber of Commerce. Well, let's talk about, we always do the 3 H's. First of all, tell us who your hero is.
Oh my goodness, that's a tough one. I've got a professional hero and then maybe a personal hero. So professional hero, I really thought hard about this, Colin. There's so many, I've met so many good people through the Chamber of Commerce and on the board of directors and these kinds of things. But I come back to someone that's here and that's in my organization, and that's the CEO and GM of our organization. He's really helped with becoming a hero in my eyes in leading the organization and taking the opportunity in investing in people such as myself in the local area to grow the company and to bring that Japanese archetype from Japan here. And in doing so, he's given me a lot of freedoms to create value, not only here in the company, but in our community. And I think that type of leadership and trust in the employees is very key. And it speaks very strongly to the TDK principles, and that's vision, courage, and trust. And these are the 3 values that we instill in all employees. And it looks nice as a plaque on the wall, but it's a different thing when a leader actually embraces that with depth and then passes it on to subordinates. So that would be my professional hero. On a personal standpoint, a little bit cheesy, and if my wife sees it, I don't know how she's going to react, but my wife is my personal hero.
My wife is my personal hero, so that's perfectly normal. So yeah.
So her quick story: she came here in the early 2000s from China and didn't speak a lot of English, and then we met in mid-2000s. But I've seen her grow as an individual, not only in raising our two kids and seeing them off to college, but now becoming president of the Atlanta Drama Club and her pursuing her real estate career. And I really got a taste of it during teleworking. So, you really don't get to appreciate what goes on behind the scenes at the house unless you're there invading the space. So I got to see all the stuff that she does to carry on the household with 2 dogs and her career. And it really does help form the backbone and support what I do. So that's my hero, my wife.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I think that's worth bragging about. So tell us about a highlight from either your personal life or your career that has been meaningful to you.
Okay. I would say career-wise, I always encourage all of our employees to make a big splash when they're here. And I want them to make a big splash that they can reflect upon. But recently with COVID-19, those big splashes are far and few between with the impacts on our business. But what I have seen is that hardship turn into a highlight. I've seen so many good actions here from TDK by the management team to take us well and beyond our business continuity plan to safeguard our employees. When I take a look at the policies that we've crafted on the fly, the precautionary measures to safeguard employee health, and benchmark this against what's being done inside our organization and outside, I give my hats off to these managers making a splash in this difficult time. And I think what's really good about that too is our ability here to share our experiences and to share these measures with the local community and to pass that along. So part hardship, part highlight.
Well, you've been a leader in our chamber in helping share those best practices by chairing our manufacturers council, and I appreciate that. So and finally, what are you hopeful about in the future?
Hopeful, again, just from a business standpoint, Colin, we had growth plans this year to do a brick and mortar expansion here on the TDK campus as we're poised to take on more business in Europe. So I'm hoping to see a social and economic turnaround within the coming months that will lend to the overall rebound in our economy, so that we can do that expansion and fulfill our original master plan to support more of that business here locally from Peachtree City, Georgia.
Well, we're hopeful for that too. Those will be jobs and capital investment in our community. Well, Ken, again, thanks for your leadership in the community at TDK and in our chamber. We greatly appreciate it. Thanks for joining us. And folks, that'll wrap up this week's Hump Day Highlight. And we hope to see you soon. Have a great week.
Thanks.